Welcome to Poor Decisions with Penny and Jeff. I'm Jeff. She's nowhere to be found. We're gonna fat wash some bourbon today. I want to do a brown butter fat wash on bourbon, so we're gonna do a quick video on how that's done. Just gonna melt some butter. So I'm melting about 4 ounces of butter, 1 stick if you have a stick. This is Amish roll butter, so I just weighed some off. About 4 ounces, and you can see it's melted and it's sizzling here. And I'm just going to keep heating it until it starts to turn brown. You got to be really careful once it starts turning. The butter solids will get really dark in a hurry. So I turn the heat down just a little bit and let it simmer until it gets brown. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but it's just starting to turn brown, a little in the bottom. Just keep going a little bit, get it nice and brown here. Get that brown butter and it gets nice nutty notes to it. We don't want to get it too brown or it'll get a burnt flavor. Just there. I think that's just about going to do it. If you can see how brown it's turning. And we're gonna let that cool down before we add our bourbon. Okay, so we have our brown butter all cooled to about room temperature. If you can see it or not. Tip the pan, it doesn't show up. All right. But it's nice and golden brown. And to that, we're just going to add in a full 750 of bourbon. This happens to be a Benchmark single barrel. You definitely want to let it cool down because you don't want to pour cold bourbon into a hot oil, and it will cook the alcohol off if it's still hot anyway. So give this a good stir. I'm going to grab a funnel here. And we're going to pour this right into this quart mason jar. It's full. All right. Put the lid on that, what I do with the lid. Okay, so we're going to put our lid on this. Be good and tight. Make sure you have a leak-proof lid. This is a ball leak-proof. Don't use the white ones, they'll leak. Shake it really good. And we're going to stick this in the freezer for at least 8 to 10 hours or so. Okay, so we actually had the fat washed bourbon in the jar in the freezer overnight. And I'm just going to poke a hole in it and drain it through this cheesecloth. And may have to do a second straining of it after that, but all right. I'm going to get as much out as I can, so I think I'll squeeze this. So let that drain for a little bit, and then I will rerun it through a coffee filter after that to clarify the bourbon. But that's our brown butter fat washed bourbon. Okay, so now we have the bourbon poured off of the butter. I just put the butter back in the jar, and I'm going to keep that in the refrigerator or freezer until we decide what we're going to use it for. You could definitely use it for making like a bourbon bread pudding or something like that, maybe. It's going to have a lot of bourbon flavor to it. All right, so now we're going to pour I'm going to pour this, restrain it through a coffee filter. It'll take a little while, but just pour it in there slowly, and hopefully it'll clarify it a little bit more. It's going to strain through pretty slowly. So we'll speed this process up and come back and hopefully pour a very clear product back into the bottle. Okay, so we filtered it through a coffee filter. Left a little bit of a residual there, and it came out nice and clear. I'm just going to pour it back into the bottle and label the bottle brown butter washed bourbon. I guess the rest of it's still in the butter.